Hey, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Woodpreneur podcast. This is your host, Steve, and today's guest is John Graves from City Hardwoods in Birmingham, Alabama. How you doing, John?
Hey, doing good. Thanks. How about you?
Good. So tell everybody about City Hardwoods. How'd you guys get started? And what do you guys do?
So City Hardwoods essentially got started here in Birmingham. It was hard to find hardwood lumber for hobbyists to buy. So there used to be a few big distributors folks would go buy from. They kind of closed down to the public. And so a couple of guys came up with this whole idea. We opened up a place where the hobbyists can walk in, pick through every stick of lumber that we have in here, and no minimums or anything like that. So we've been here for about 6 years. And the building we're in now, we've been here for about 3 years. But it's just been a need around this place. It's hard, as everybody knows, it's hard to find good hardwood lumber, live edge slabs, stuff that's actually been dried properly and essentially ready to make a piece of furniture out of.
That's great. And how'd you get your start in being the general manager there?
Yeah, so it's been an interesting circle of event or chain of events. I took a woodworking class from a guy that was involved here at the beginning. And he and I kind of hit it off during the woodworking class that he was teaching. And they were kind of coming up with this whole concept of having a hardwood lumber store / a place to build commission pieces. That's something else we do. And long story short, he and I hit it off, and he asked me to come work and learn under him, and I did. And I was here for about 2 or 3 years. Ended up going to build cabinets with a really, really high-end cabinet company here in Birmingham, and learned a lot from those guys too. Long story short, I came back here as a manager, and I've been back now for about 1.5 years, and running the place. And so yeah, it was sort of a long circle of starting off, leaving, coming back, but yeah, I'm here now.
That's awesome. And tell us about the operation. So we don't really have too many retail places. I mean, I can count the amount on my hand, how many retail places that we have. But I think in many ways, the Woodpreneur, you're like on the end result, the public facing result of a lot of the work that woodpreneurs do. And you empower other woodpreneurs and other woodworkers to do by supplying them with stuff. So tell us about just the scope of City Hardwoods and what do you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. So if somebody has a project that they want to build and they want to pick out the lumber, we are set up for them to come in here, pick through every stick of wood that we have, whether it's lumber by the board foot, a live edge slab that we sell that they like. They can come in here and totally find the exact board that fits their project or boards. Also, our shop does a number of things. One of the ways we add value to lumber is somebody can come in here. They can pick out the lumber they want, but they may not have a big planer or clamps in their garage. So part of what we do here is we do a lot of processing for folks. So if you need to have something straight lined, planed down to a certain thickness, glued up to help get your project going, that's part of what our shop does, accommodate to those folks. Or our shop is set up to a homeowner who wants to come in here and they want an heirloom quality piece of furniture, whether it be a dining room table, coffee table, whatever they can come up with. We can build the full project for them, pass it on to them, ready to use, ready to eat on if it's a table, whatever it may be. Also, the shop, we're set up to do one-on-one classes, mainly geared for folks who are just kind of wanting to get started in the woodworking hobby, and they may have never turned on a table saw, a router, any of the tools. We can take them through the shop, pick a small project we can knock out in about 2 days, maybe like a cutting board, something like that. But we want to teach them woodworking through safety. But it's really set up right now, especially after COVID, to come in here one-on-one. We'll take a deep dive on how to use the tools safely to where they can feel like they can start making decisions on the types of tools that they need for the types of projects that they want to work on. But we are here to accommodate anybody with zero woodworking experience to seasoned woodworkers, or even somebody that has no interest in woodworking. They just want something made. And that's broad brush what we do here.
That's a big scope right there. That's really awesome. Yeah. I mean, between, it was on your website, it was between looking at, lumber sales, exotic lumber, live edge slabs. It looks like you have a variety of different species. Where are you sourcing stuff? You have obviously relationships with like international people and even local mills, right? So talk about who's supplying your lumber.
Yeah. So the scope of that's as big as what we do here. We are buying from local sawyers here, mainly the live edge slabs. Those are coming from North Alabama, East Alabama, West Alabama. A few guys, we've got some good relationships there. We know that what they're giving us is good, dry material. Also, as far as most of the board foot lumber, we're getting either directly from mills, sometimes big distributors, but typically that's where we're going to be getting that stuff. Just so we can have a good, consistent product in here with the board foot stuff. We label every board we have that comes in here. We measure the board footage of each board and also the grade of the lumber. And as far as the grade goes, it's typically more consistent from the larger scale mills and the larger scale distributors, because we're going to buy it at FAS grade, or number 2 common, number 1 common. And it's very consistent and reliable there. But with the live edge, it's a little bit different. It's definitely more subjective. And so it makes more sense to get this kind of stuff from the local mills, and also people like the story behind the slab. Sometimes we're able to tell them, this tree was from this place. And with the live edge slab, it's almost like buying a painting. And so, the more unique it is, the more it will likely to sell, right? So, absolutely. Whereas the regular lumber, it's like it's got to be consistent, right? And so, that's interesting. What talk about your community, your city? Like, is it growing? Are you like, I've talked to somebody in like the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill area, and they're like, it's blowing up there. What's your city like? Talk to us about your Birmingham. Absolutely, man. I love Birmingham. I've lived here my entire life. It's definitely growing. It's a growing area, especially where we are in Birmingham. There's a lot of new developments and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely Birmingham being here in the South. The style here is very different than, say, the Northeast. So we've got a lot of folks looking for rustic grade material. Folks here like the knots. They like the if you want to call it, character in the wood. So I would love to find out if there is a place like this up in the Northeast, kind of what grade lumber they buy. So it's interesting. I mean, we can obviously source the FAS first and seconds, which is like the top high end lumber, and we do carry that. But most of the time, we have folks asking us, "Hey, and I think it's because of our area. Hey, we're looking for some lumber that's got knots and cracks and checks, sort of that old world look." And so Birmingham mixed with woodwork, if this makes sense. I know I'm kind of chasing a rabbit here, but our culture here, I think folks want that sort of rustic look, and it kind of goes with the South a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I guess back to your original question, this place is growing. There's a lot of new construction happening in our city. And with that comes a lot of folks coming in here asking for mantelpieces and things like that for these new construction or renovations going on. But man, I love Birmingham. I have no desire to leave our area or our state. But it's definitely thriving. And if you haven't been here before, man, the food here it's off the charts, man. It's delicious. If you ever come down here, you will not leave with an empty stomach. I can promise you that.
That's great. That's great. Who are your customers? Like, if you were to describe them, is it like young families, or is it like, weekend warrior types? You have like developers coming in. Who are your audience?
Man, it's all over the place. It is. We've got college students that come in here, and they're wanting to bang together something they can put in their dorm room, and and we've got stuff for that. We've also got older men men and women that have been doing this for a long time, really seasoned woodworkers who have super specific grade of lumber that they're looking for. And they're making some like super nice high-end furniture. I mean, to guys that are steam bending Windsor chairs, they're looking for that kind of stuff too. So, it's as all over the place as the products that we offer here. I mean, it's young folks, it's old retired guys that are looking for something to do because they're bored, so they're just wanting to get into woodworking. Man, it's everybody, and like I said too, it's people that don't even woodwork. It's folks that are like, hey, I just like what you guys do. I want to be a part of it, and I don't really even know what I want my table to look like. We trust you guys to build us something cool, and here's some parameters, some dimensions that we have. Can you handle that for us, man? It's all over the place. It's really cool.
What have you found has been your biggest source of leads in terms of marketing, or what are your traditional primary marketing channels?
Yeah, man. So it's funny you bring that up. That's something we've been trying to figure out. So by far and away, we have found the biggest, and this has been consistent through the day we started about 6 years ago. It all really started with Instagram. I mean, we would post on Craigslist too, and that would actually bring in a fair amount of people. But Instagram was by far the thing that's gotten us kind of up and running. We use Constant Contact for our emails, and that helps a lot of folks kind of find out what we've got in new, that don't do the social media thing. But I mean, far and away, Instagram has been our big thing. I mean, it's mixed with word of mouth, but I would attribute most everything to Instagram. It's crazy.
That's cool. How big is your team
on Instagram? Or
no. You're like, who work in your business?
Yeah. So, myself and Kim, and folks that have watched our videos know who Kim is. Kim's been here for a long time, but she and I at this point in time are the only full-time City Hardwoods employees. David's the newest guy we've hired on here. He's here most of the week, and we've got 2 or 3 others who just help us out on Saturdays. It's tough doing the 6-day-a-week thing, so we've got some really cool people working here that they are here Saturdays, take turns. When they work here, you get kind of free reign to the shop. So there's definitely benefits to being here. Yeah,
that's cool.
And good wood deals. Yeah. So there's some perks.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. What's been the challenge so far in running a essentially like a community lumber store, right? And wood shop, like, which is such an interesting model, right? Like the community wood shop, a community lumber store, because you're not big box. I bet you people really like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's been the biggest challenge?
Man, so the biggest challenge probably goes back to when you were asking, what all do we do? Well, because it's such a niche, and we do want to be a source for, all things wood for the people in Birmingham and outside of Birmingham. It's kind of figuring out, being able to streamline, because we're so sort of open-ended on how we can help. Man, every project we do is totally different. So we've got folks who they're saying, you guys need to build a jig for this and this and this. And yeah, that would make sense if we're going to do it 10 more times. But efficiency in the shop is tough when every project is almost completely different. So efficiency in the shop, and then also, our marketing, just how can we continue to grow what we're doing and spread the word outside of, Instagram and word of mouth? We get a lot of complaints on our website, and anybody that's been to our website would say, "Hey, will you guys post your prices?" And we always tell them, well,
because you want them to come in. That's why.
That's exactly right. We want them to come in.
I have a friend like that too. I mean, he had a retail store, and he was like, how much is it? I'm like, nope, come in. Because listen, it's dangerous. If you're a woodworker, it's dangerous to go into a wood shop. Because you'll think you're going to spend X amount of dollars. You're going to walk out spending 3 or 4 times as much, right?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you can, and especially if you have like a lot of different variety and species, it's like kid in a candy store. So I know, I get it. Yeah. Right? Like you don't, and your community, right? Like your community. So you want people to come in and experience it, and feel it. So that's cool. What do I guess? So this is part of. I don't know if you've listened to other episodes, but I give advice at the end of the episode. And so, is there anything that you're struggling with, or something that you need to think through that could really help out your business? Like something that maybe an ongoing nag, or something that you can So it not only helps you, and a lot of people have taken action on this, like the guests, and then other people that listen, they take action too, which is really cool. We had a guy, he was like, I need to grow my audience. So I gave him advice, and like, I think he grew 1,500 followers in like a week or something with the advice that I gave him. So, wow. So tell me what can I help you with? Some marketing or business.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, man, absolutely. I was thinking about this today, actually. How much is too much with the social media, like just being in their face, and like, so for me personally, the junk email and the, hey, come in and get it before it's going off the shelf, like mixed with the social media, like, what is your opinion on that? Like how much is too much? Like, do I need to be, is every day too much? I don't want to annoy people. I definitely struggle with that. Like, I mean, I do enjoy doing the social media, but at the same time, it does take time, but I don't want to overdo it. But maybe that's not even a thing to overdo it. What do you think about that? Is there too much?
That's a great question. So the way I look at it is like, look in your email.
Okay.
And there's a good chance that whoever you bought from sent you an email, right?
Yeah.
You buy something from the Gap or Home Depot, they're sending you a message tomorrow. And because they have your text message and they have your email, you're going to get ads from them as soon as you hop on Facebook. You go to a website once, and then you get hit with an ad from the same place. So we think, because it's our business, that we're important. You're not as important as the other things. And so if you have a product or service that is important, it's kind of on you to remind people that you exist, because people will forget about you altogether. And so if you're feeling like it's too much, you actually have to push past that, because that's the part where you're starting to feel uncomfortable. But people don't even know you exist.
Okay. That's good, Steve. I've got to change my mindset with that then.
It's the mindset. So the other thing too is like, look, I'm on your Instagram right now, right?
Okay.
So let's just say, your ads or your posts, right? You got a table, you got 54 likes on it. You got 3,900 followers. And so your percentage is low. So not a lot of people are seeing not a lot of people are seeing your content at all. So you actually have to keep posting more. The one thing that you should really do is do more stories and do more reels, right? Like if you're gonna get creative on anything, it should be on videos and reels. Because reels right now, so Instagram's trying to compete with TikTok, right? And and they are prior. So like there's a guy right now, he put out like a video and he got literally in like 2-3 weeks, 10,000 followers. So it's really, really, really important for you to put out more reels at this moment. So like early November 2021, reels are everything because they want to compete with TikTok. If you look at social media platforms, right? Social media platforms, everybody, social media platforms want their users to stay on their platform more. And so they pushed out new features so that you can stay on the platform more so that they can sell more advertising, right? So anyway, I guess that's my point. My point is do more stories, do more reels. You'll have more fun with it. And it's all about education, entertaining, and inspiring people.
I like that.
Put those as your pillars: entertainment, education, and inspiration.
Right? Writing that down right now. I'm writing it down.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I would focus on. And it's never enough. It's never enough. It's literally never enough.
Okay.
I would do more stories than post, and then reserve your posts for an idea for your feed is take pictures of your customers coming in and buying stuff.
Okay.
Because you'll always have an endless supply of content. Post your pictures of your customers holding up what they just bought, and then tag them, and then repost it to your Facebook, and then tag them on Facebook too. So make sure that everybody comes in, you get their Instagram, you get their Facebook. It's like, hey, I'm going to take your picture for our Facebook. And you're like, blah, 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 just bought this. And then now people start to see like, oh, there's like a little bit of social proof here. Oh, there's people just like me, right? And you just make that part of your mix, and then use your stories for the projects that you're working on, and then utilize Instagram highlights to say lumber in stock, wood stock. And I'm sure you have, reviews. You can put reviews and testimonials there too. All right.
Got it, man. That's awesome.
Is that helpful?
Thank you. Yeah, this is great, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It all starts with the mindset, man. It's never enough. Okay. Nobody listen, nobody cares about you. You just have to make them remind you that you exist.
Yeah, that's right.
Push past the uncomfortable. It's so crazy. Okay. So
no, that's great.
Awesome, man. All right. Any last bit of parting advice for the Woodpreneur community? Anybody thinking about doing a retail lumber place? What any advice for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about where you source your lumber. Make sure that you're getting a good, consistent product. You're not going to have that big of a deal doing it from the big mills and distributors, but if you find local sawyers, find out their process, because it directly reflects back on us who sell the lumber. Yeah. So educate yourself on what the lumber needs to be. The moisture percentage for wherever part of the country you're in, because it's different in the Southeast than it is out west.
Yeah.
And just know how your sawyers are treating their lumber, how they're drying it, all that kind of good stuff. That's huge, because if you get a bad batch and you sell it, then all of a sudden in people's mind, oh, City Hardwoods, they've got wet lumber. That just can't happen. So
yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, thanks so much, John. I really appreciate your story. How can people find you? Website, Instagram?
Yeah, absolutely. We're at City Hardwoods on Instagram, and then cityhardwoods.com is the website. We're of course on Facebook too, and I think we're about to start a TikTok. So we've got to. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Steve, thank you.